Welcome to Rwanda, dear friends of UNHCR and dear friends of IKEA who are joining us today, and also people who are joining us live from the beautiful country of Rwanda, known as the countries of Southern Hills. So we are extremely grateful to the IKEA Foundation, not only for the long-standing partnership with UNHCR, but also for giving us this platform today to exchange with you, with everybody, including the IKEA co-workers, who through their work and through their support to the refugee cause are with the foundation implementing life-changing programs who are really making an impact here on the ground. Here in Rwanda, we benefit from two beautiful projects that we are going to present today. One on renewable energy, access for refugees to renewable energy, but also access to tertiary education for refugees. So Rwanda is an extremely densely populated country from the Great Lakes region in Africa. And this country has been generously welcoming refugees for the last 2 decades. Today, as we speak, we have over 130,000 refugees in the country, mainly coming from Congo DRC, but also from Burundi. So my name is Elise. I'm the spokesperson of UNHCR office in Rwanda, and I'm delighted to introduce you today to two amazingly inspiring women. I have with me today Mrs. Gentil Dusenje. Gentil is a refugee from Congo who just graduated from Kepler, New Hampshire University. This university got support from IKEA Foundation to include refugees in its cohorts of students, and Gentil has been graduating. Congratulations, Gentil. And we also have with us Mrs. Denise Umumbieye. Denise, excuse me for the pronunciation. Denise is a very good partner to us. She is the country manager of Practical Action, a UK-based NGO which is specialized in renewable energy projects. And together with UNHCR, thanks to the support of IKEA Foundation, Practical Action in giving access to clean and affordable renewable energy to refugees. And it's really a life-saving project and a life-changing investment in refugee camps. So, of course, today is a discussion, and we are here to exchange on how these kind of projects supported by the IKEA Foundation are really impacting in a positive way the life of refugees here in Rwanda. And you will have the possibility to share with us all your questions with the chat function in YouTube and also on LinkedIn. So feel free to exchange with us, and we will be happy to answer all your questions. But before we take questions, I'd like to start with you, Gentil, if you don't mind. And can you please share with us your story and tell us why you were forced to flee from your country, and how was it for you to come to Rwanda? How did you manage to find a safe asylum in Rwanda?
Thank you so much, Elise. As you said, I'm Gentil Dusenje, and I'm a Congolese refugee based in Rwanda from 1996. And I came with my family because we were fleeing a war that occurred in my home country. It was just a war among tribes, and I was almost 3 years old. I was with my young brother, and yes, our parents took us to Rwanda to seek asylum.
And how did you make it, to come to Rwanda? Do you have memories from that time? And what do you remember of your arrival and also your life in Rwanda before starting with Kepler University? What was it to be in exile, to be a refugee in Rwanda?
Thank you so much. Something I can remember is the day that we were fleeing, and I was hearing these gun sounds. I was really, really scared, and I thought they were thunders. So after getting to Rwanda, it was really not easy because we had to change every single thing, starting from food, shelter. Everything was different. Even though I was young, but I still remember something. For example, eating was really terrible because that was just one meal per day. And talking about schools, I started my primary school in the Kiziba refugee camp, and that's where I also finished my ordinary level. So UNHCR and other partners helped me to finish this primary and also the ordinary level. So as a refugee, it was really hard again to continue with my high school because not everyone got into school. Just some brilliant students who got a chance to be funded by some organizations. That's when I got a chance to be funded by ADRA, and then I left the camp to finish my high school outside the camp. Yeah. And when I graduated from high school, I was supposed to get a scholarship of the government because I also got this good grade. But I was a refugee. This was not really possible for me to get this scholarship because they were looking for some documentations. So those documents, as a refugee, I couldn't get them. But I tried to go to school. I tried to stay in school to attend my university, but uh, I couldn't stay longer because I had to eat. I had to pay for the hostels. I had to pay for the school, the fish and tree, the fees, yes, the fees. But again, I realized it was not possible. So that's how my first scholarship faded, and I went back home, and that was in 2012. And I had to wait 5 years, and that's when I got the chance to know Kepler and to be admitted at Kepler.
So in those 5 years, I think you became a mother, you started a family, but then what pushed you, to resume your studies? As a mother, it's sometimes very difficult to, resume studies, but even though you're a refugee, it seems that you've always been dreaming of studying. So please tell us, when did it come, this opportunity of Kepler, and how did it change your life to study, in this Kepler New Hampshire University program, which is sponsored by the IKEA Foundation?
Yes. After waiting for 5 years, I started losing hope. It's like I had been waiting for something which would never happen. That's how I got married because I was thinking, so there's nothing else left for me. I just have to get married and give birth to kids like any
Carry on with life.
Yes. So I was trying to give up. So fortunately, when I heard about Kepler, it was like my hope was reborn there. It's like I was given a second chance. So my father called me, and I went and I went through all the process of admission, and after a while I was admitted, and I hope and I think that was probably one of my best days, one of my best days because I felt inside my heart like I was finding something I was really missing. So from there, the first thing that happened to me was hope. I was hopeful again that something I have been willing was going to happen again. Because my father used to tell me, you see, our family used to be rich, used to be famous, and I think everyone there in the camp already knows that because they know my family in the past. So going to school was like a chance for me to restore the dignity of my family. And I had this responsibility on my shoulder as a firstborn. And so
hope reborn.
yes.
You managed to restore the dignity of your family thanks access to tertiary education. And now you have graduated. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
How graduating is changing your life? How getting a tertiary degree is changing your life? What are you doing after your studies now?
Yeah, the very first thing that happened to me after graduating was trying something I really want to do with my life. I want to be a humanitarian, like as a career. I tried this and I applied at UNHCR as an intern, and I was given this opportunity. So again, this is something that I tried right after my graduation and it happened. And so this strengthened my hope again. It showed me that I can still really do this. It's like, it's a confirmation that what I want is gonna happen someday at some place. So again, I've been applying to organizations after my internship, and this is because I'm a BA degree holder. Because if people are looking for a BA degree holder and I'm there, this is a chance. I know I can try new things, I can do this and that because I am qualified for that. I fulfill the requirements. So it's like graduating to Kepler has given me a chance to tackle two opportunities across the globe, because I have an international degree.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So really, Gentil is the example that if refugees who are already extremely resilient people, if we give them the opportunity to thrive in life, they will take this little chance and transform it into golden opportunity. Gentil has done extremely excellent work in UNHCR, and we wish her good luck for our future. We have really to thank also IKEA Foundation, because Gentil is just one example of the many students, refugee students, who have talent. And thanks to this Kepler University, Kepler New Hampshire University program, can access to very good degrees, BA degrees, and get access to the job market in a very competitive way. Thank you, Gentil. And now from education to energy, I would like to now pass the floor to Mrs. Denise, who works in Practical Action, an NGO partnering with UNHCR on a project, Renewable Energy for Refugees. It's an IKEA Foundation funded project, which is promoting humanitarian access to clean energy in refugee camps. This program is now benefiting 3 refugee camps in the country. So thank you, Denise, first for being with us today. I know that you're a mom to be and that your baby can come at any time. So thank you. It's another proof of your commitment, to work in partnership with UNHCR and the IKEA Foundation. So Denise, based on your experience, can you please tell us a bit more about practical action and why it's important to work towards improved access to affordable and clean energy in refugee settings?
Yeah, thanks very much, Elise, and thanks very much, Gentil, for starting by inspiring me. It's always, warming to hear someone who have been given a chance to change their life and took it and are doing greater things. And it's sometimes strange that some of us do not even recognize, take granted the opportunities that we already have, but it's more amazing to see people like Gentil who got that chance and trying to change other people's lives, and to see organizations like IKEA Foundation, UNHCR, Practical Action trying to provide that opportunities for refugees. Yeah, a bit about Practical Action. Practical Action is an international development organization putting ingenious ideas to work so people can change their world. And we work with community to develop ingenious ideas and locally owned solution into agriculture, water and waste management, climate resilience, and clean energy. And most importantly, we share what works so that answer that starts small can grow big. We believe in big change, in big changes starting small, just like Shantier's example. Yeah, about talking about renewable energy. Sustainable energy can bring light and hope to the world's most vulnerable community. And we have had impressive testimonies of how people got choice and control of their time. I'm sure if Shanti given a chance, she can talk about education, and we can see how renewable energy have enabled that at a particular extent. We have so many girls and boys in the camps who dream to be like Shanti, but do not even have a chance to review to do their homework or to review their lessons after dark, simply because they don't have access to energy. And before we started implementing early for R in the camps, some people who could afford candles were using candles or kerosene or burning sticks, but you only use it for very particular minutes that it's really needed because it's already too expensive for refugees. And yeah, we've had people like Annonciata in Ikembe camp who have started, who have really tried their best to start making something to earn a living, but we are really like hindered by the lack of energy. She has a tailoring shop, but she was only conditioned to work a particular few hours, and so she can be able. She's handcuffed, so she can be able to walk from Kalisi 1 to 6, and also using a manual machine can only help her, can only enable her to do very few clothes, even though she had so many customers. But now, after renewable energy for refugees, she has an electric machine, and she can work a few extra hours because there is light on the way from her shop to her home, thanks to the street lights installed under the renewable energy for refugees. She has a nano grid in her shop, which powers her machine that does better job and quicker and offers extra services like embroidery, which she would otherwise or her customers source from outside the camp, which makes everything costly and so on. We've also had experiences, people saying or emphasizing on experiences of social cohesion. This quote has been quoted so many times by different refugees in very different words, but similarly. And I quote, the pathway is so bright. People outside the camp wonder if it is a town looking from afar. They are in a way to see a refugee camp having lights. This is one way of putting this, but others have quoted it as like Gihembe being close to the center. They were like, we felt like a dark island before, and we were, because they were situated, they were surrounded by area that has lights, and they were like, one of the security person there was talking to me, and it was so heartbreaking that he was like, we felt it was our life to chase death. To chase deaths after dark. We felt it was like our normal life to run after people who have stolen belongings from families. We thought it was our life, to use our torches and break our arms and legs trying to figure out things like if there's a security incident, trying to take our women at the hospitals or health centers at night. It was our children's life not to be able to revise their lessons like any other person. But after we got access to renewable energy, now we understand it's actually renewable energy is not actually a luxury, but a basic need. Someone actually told me, said, we know like the renewable energy does not make our life easier, but it makes it possible. We know we are paying for the solar home systems, but looking at the impact it brings into our life, it makes it so easy to make, very difficult decision in terms of energy prioritizing to be able to pay for energy. Um, Refugees need energy for cooking, lighting, and everything I've mentioned, studying, access to proper services, education, health, security, safety, but also to earn income and be economically independent. And that is where RE4R project comes in. As Eddie said, we are working in 3 camps, and we are working with 50,000. We're aiming to reach 50,000 refugees, looking at their energy needs at household level, that is for lighting, cooking, and powering some small appliances like phone, radios, and some of them TVs. And then community level, and then at a private level, at the livelihood level, as most of people calls it. And we have looked at different segments of refugees market and provided different solutions to make sure that we are not only responding to their specific energy needs as per what segment they are in, but also their purchasing power. And we have worked with private sector to so many different models tailored specifically to those segments. Elisa, I hope I've answered your question.
So thank you so much, Denise, for this powerful, testimony about how, access to clean and affordable energy is clearly an enabler for refugees to get access to education, access to livelihood, but also this feeling of safety and security living in a refugee camp, and also that it helps them rebuild a decent life. Thank you as well, Practical Action, for being such, expert, in this domain, working with UNHCR and the IKEA Foundation to bring a brighter life to these refugees. That's really amazing. Thanks so much. So I'm being told, and I would like to really say hi to our audience, because we have people joining us from a lot of countries. We have people joining from Ethiopia, South Africa, Portugal, Vietnam, India, European country, and it's really a sign that there is big interest into this kind of topics. And if I may, I would like now to turn on to the audience and give the floor, to the IKEA co-workers and ask some questions. I already received the first question, and this is a question from the audience to Gentile. So Gentile, can you please tell us, and I'm reading the question as we speak, how can someone who has been forced to flee their home can create a sense of belonging in a new country, a sense of home? And I think it makes sense with the IKEA Foundation, the IKEA mission, because IKEA is all about creating a cozy and safe place and safe homes through access to nice, cozy and good furnitures. But here you've been obliged to flee your country. How did you manage to rebuild this sense of belonging while you are in exile, and this sense of home here in Rwanda?
Yeah, thank you. Something I think can help someone like me, or that helped me, is being empowered. It's like empowerment. It's like if refugees or asylum seekers are given this opportunity to break the barrier of documentations. So people are really intelligent, they know what to do, but they are limited by the opportunity of documentations.
Mm-hmm.
So if young refugees are, for example, given opportunities to have access to international opportunities like scholarships, like jobs, so people can feel more safe, and also can feel kinda home, because you cannot forget your home, but you can really feel good wherever you might be, as long as people don't question your documents, they don't question your ability. So I believe these two things can help me on.
So documentation and the possibility to be given opportunities to integrate through studies, through access to jobs. So it's all about refugees inclusion, socio-economic inclusion. It gives you a status, and you can stand strong and rebuild your life in this country. Is it what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean, because I think documents don't really matter.
And it's what you're doing now.
Yeah.
That's great. I have another question now from Alexandra to Denise. Denise, is there an initiative to combine renewable energy and permaculture, regenerative agriculture here in Rwanda?
Yeah, thanks very much, Elise, and thanks very much, Alexander. It's a brilliant question. As RE4R is coming to an end, we have started as practical action together with UNHCR and actually other actors to look at what is next after RE4R, because there's a number of things that are next. But as practical action, in our experience working with refugees and providing different solutions to tackle their affordability issues, like introducing the revolving fund, other PU activities, we realized a number of refugees are engaged into agriculture. And agriculture is one of our core businesses as practical action. And interestingly, we are really looking at, during this strategic period, we are really looking at energy agriculture nexus. So we've been putting together ideas of what to do next in Rwanda, and we are actually already doing something with IKEA. It's not energy agriculture nexus, but to an extent, and we have very interesting approaches to regenerative agriculture. So I will say it's something that we are really looking at, and it's something that we have not figured out which partners to work with, and but we have recognized the need. We have already started thinking of how this can be implemented. We are putting together ideas to share with interested partners, so we can see how this can work with refugees and the host community in general. Thanks. I hope I answered your question, Alexander.
Sorry, I was muted. So regarding another question for Denise, is there an initiative to develop education around the creation of small-scale renewable energy devices? Is there an initiative to develop education around the creation of small-scale renewable energy devices, such as STEM in school for both children and adults?
Yeah. Thanks very much for the question, Elise. Yeah. I mean, we see energy as an enabler for education and every other things. We have, I mean, in different countries, but also in Rwanda, we targeted, schools at the what I call community level, making sure that the community facilities provide better services to beneficiaries, to refugees and beneficiaries. And this is one of the things we look at. Before we started RE4R, we did a very extensive 6-month assessment, trying to talk with different stakeholders, mainly refugees, and working with refugees at different levels to make sure that we are responding to specific questions. So the initiative that were developed under RE4R were specific to the camps and the schools that were there. So but widely as practical action, we are not experts at education. We have a practical action school program which is in the UK now, but we look at this under, like in Rwanda, we look at this under energy for community perspective. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Denise. So before I take the last question, I would like to thank the audience. Like all of them are sending big congratulations for the impact of this project, how these projects are life-saving projects, and also big congratulations from Bertie Kampaya to Gentil. It says, congratulations for your degree. Now, the last question from the audience. How can IKEA co-workers who are based in Europe, US, Asia, etc. best support the refugee cause? So I think I'll take that one because, I mean, we see already through the foundation the impact of IKEA co-workers support, because not only IKEA co-workers are working for a company, giving their time, like today, to support the refugee cause and pass the word that refugees are people like you and me. They just had to, face extremely difficult situation and flee from their country. And, giving a hand to those refugees and giving an opportunity to these refugees to thrive in life is the thing to do, because they only want, to have solutions. They are really looking to the future. They have big dreams that they want to achieve, and these kind of projects are helping them, you know, thrive in their studies, build their businesses, and feel safer and have a more dignified life. So already carrying the values of this company that is a long-standing supporter of UNHCR and more largely of the refugee cause is a big thing. I know also that IKEA co-workers have been for years now very deeply involved into good cause campaigns in stores to spread the message and to show how like committing to support refugees is extremely important. And sometimes these campaigns, like the Brighter Life for Refugee campaigns, has also helped gather and raise a lot of funding to support this kind of initiative. And we had the chance, not in Rwanda, but in many other countries, to receive eyewitness co-workers through eyewitness trips. And I have to say that the commitment of these IKEA co-workers to come and visit faraway, you know, refugee operation, and the way that they show humanity and interest in the refugee cause is amazing. And everything that you're doing is helping to change the script about refugee and seeing refugee not as a burden, but refugees as talented people who have a lot to bring to the communities where they are integrating. So thank you for that. And don't forget that on the 20th of June, this is World Refugee Day. So it's the moment to go out, participate in, you know, a lot of events, activities happening everywhere in the world to, you know, celebrate and, you know, advocate for the cause of refugees. And we can only manage to implement this mandate if we have your support. So thank you for being with us today. Thank you, ladies, also for sharing, you know, your experience and for inspiring us. I know that you are role models in your communities. Denise is a very brilliant Rwandan lady, and you are like a brilliant role model for many refugee girls in this country who are looking up to you and want to follow your steps and follow your example. And lastly, thank you to IKEA co-workers and IKEA Foundation for helping us, you know, implementing innovative and solution-oriented project in Rwanda. And we hope that when this pandemic calms down a little bit, we can welcome some of you as part of eyewitness trips in Rwanda. I wish you a very good day, and thanks for watching us.